Hey guys, and welcome back to PXH, also known as PureXHeart. Chris here, as usual, back again with another album review. And guys, as always, make sure you guys hit down that like button onto this video, and of course, comment down below what you guys thought about this album, or what your guys want me to review, whatever. You guys put it down in those comments, and I will get to it. Also, if you're new here or returning visitor and you haven't yet subscribed, then guess what? Or if you're new on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel. But let's get into it. Belong is from the influencer, the vlogger, the film and television actor, and he's also been a part of a other group with his wife called Jess and Gabe. Gabriel Conte is the name of this album, and it is his only first solo debut as a artist, and the Florida native has got something very interesting, now a Los Angeles native, as a album that is basically about a chronicle of hope and despair, commitment and resilience, faith and family. And this is recorded with songwriter / producer Denny White. And this album was made as Conte was struggling within 5 years of struggling and wrestling with a deep depression in what he describes as the darkest season of his life. And so basically, Belong is the moving debut built on the belief that a greater plan exists for each and every one of us, willing to embrace the love that surrounds us and work towards the better selves we carry within. So it has a really great message. Just let's get into this album. As you guys can just tell, I'm not a huge fan of this album. I'm just gonna say that flat out. I have a lot of issues with this album. It came from a really great place of, just him just dealing with a lot of stuff. And honestly, that's great. You're able to get out of that area and you're able to use music as a gateway. That's the great thing about music, is that you can relate to it without even having to say your problems, because it just somehow resonates within your body. That's just whatever it may be, whether it be the lyrics of it or maybe just the instruments of it. That's just the very impactful way that music has onto us. So in that aspect, I really do applaud Gabriel Conte for this effort. I have actually not listened to a lot of Gabriel Conte. Jess and Gabe don't really know much about. He's done a few cover songs with his wife. He has a very popular YouTube channel, and he's very popular on the Instas and all that stuff. But this album, is just... the best way to almost describe this album is very similar to my Sarah Reeves album, where it almost blurred the lines of, is this really a Christian album? This one a little bit more so than the Sarah Reeves one, because at least the Sarah Reeves pointed to God in some aspects. Some songs where it'd be just a bit, hey, God is here, or without even having to say the name, but still alluded to God. Where I feel like with Gabriel Conte, really maybe the only song that allude to God is the title track, which is called Belong. Just maybe, in one aspect, in one perspective, you guys can maybe sense that, hey, maybe he's talking about God here. Maybe he's not. I don't really know. Maybe he's talking about his significant other, which basically plays a major role within this album, is his is him and his significant other's relationship, which is fine, you know, as a regular album. For Christian album, that's a little bit hard. It, again, you know, blurs the line of, you know, what do we describe as a Christian album? Is it just an album that's from a Christian artist, or is it an album that has the name of God, or, you know, really points to God as the amazing Savior that he is? And I mean, you can have relatable songs that allude to God, that, you know, point to God, that, you know, hey, I was able to get out of, say, this depression or this anxiety, not because of my own strength, but because of God's strength. That's basically what my thing is. There's been albums that have been able to do that. For example, Lecrae's album and KB's album, which basically had a lot of almost a inner dwelling within themselves, because I mean, you get that with a lot of rap albums where you're able to see the inside of them, but, you know, at the same time, they're still pointing to God within that. The problem, I've just had a lot of problem with a lot of these pop albums that they may allude to God, but they may not allude to God. And if they're really like a CCM pop album, then they just make it all cringeworthy and just try to make it not deep within themselves of just what, or, you know, they just kind of go through the motions with a lot of it. And it's just like, do you really believe in that God is the saving power of the universe? But, you know, get back to this album, because that was a little bit of a sidetrack. It really points out the problem within this album is that, is this really a Christian album? Also, another thing, if you look at the album art, maybe like a little bit of this one, but there's been some, like, I mean, it has him shirtless, and I don't think that really gives a great message. Like, sure, you know, they may be like, hey, I'm being vulnerable at this point, but there's ways to counteract that, or, you know, ways to go out that is for this vulnerable side, that is just shirtless is just usually not the best way to go out it, especially if you're going for a Christian album. If you're going for just a regular pop album, then fine, do whatever you want. As a pop album, this is great, this is fine, this is, you know, it's like just almost like a regular pop album. The problem is with a Christian album, this does not do that really well. I've just had a lot of issues with a lot of these songs. These songs have really great meanings. It's just I could not allude to any of these songs besides maybe the title track, Belong to God. So I'm not really talking about much of the songs, just because it's just the really main issue is just with this main theme of, yeah, it's just really that main problem right there that I don't feel like I could actually really give these songs, you know, really a good justice of, you know, what they're about. That's basically like, you guys can basically do that. I just feel like for this album, I just can't really review it to the best of my ability. So for a rating, I'm going to say that this album is probably better if you just casually listen to it on the Christian radio, or probably just the radio, maybe. It's not that bad of an album. Just as a Christian album, I can't really review it to the best of my ability. I don't really see a lot of alluding to God, of just saying, hey, he's able to make me out of this a better way. As a pop album, this is really great. As a Christian album, that's the only problem right there, is just the message. A lot of these songs are very personal, so I really do enjoy that aspect of a lot of these songs. I just, if you're making it personal and you don't really allude it to God, that just, you know, not really questioning his salvation, just questioning really the albums as a Christian album. Again, that's really what I'm judging, or more or less reviewing at this for this stage of album. Is this really a Christian album? But if you guys would, leave a like onto this video and comment down below what you guys thought about this album, and also what you guys want me to review, whether it be in the past, future, present. You guys know what to do. Put it down in those comments and I will get to it. It can be music, movies, topics, you name it, and I will of course get to it. If you're new here or a returning visitor, then of course hit that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel. So guys, remember to go on with Jesus and change the culture. Boom. Bye.